Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. Now in these videos I share insights, knowledge and experience based on my own career and the things that I have achieved or seen in my life. Now what I normally do is provide you insights on how to become a more effective leader, give you insights on what the traits and leadership skills are that you need to improve your own leadership, and of course just give you the opportunity to engage with me in a conversation around what leadership means to you. What are we going to talk about today? It's the topic of saying sorry. Saying sorry. I'll get to that in a minute. But as Elton John says in one of his songs, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Because it's fair to say that for some people, sorry is not a part of their vocabulary. For some people, it's very hard to say, whether it's in life and certainly in business. Now, there are those who say you should never say sorry anyway. Remember, in a previous video, I talked about ego and how you need to manage ego. Now, there are those for whom ego means that they are seen to be strong, they're kind of strong men or strong women. They take their leadership style in a very distant manner, as it were. I lead, you follow. No room for discussion. You get it wrong, I reprimand you. Those kind of approaches to leadership, which I hope, based on what you've seen so far in my leadership training videos, is not my style, and I don't think it's the best style either. But let's start off with something very, very simple. So in life, let's say you've been out to a restaurant and you've had a nice meal, a nice evening with friends, with your spouse, with your partner, with your girlfriend or boyfriend. And at the end of it, this amazing evening, this amazing meal, you ask for the bill. And you ask again. And you ask again. The waiter or waitress keeps saying, yeah, I'll be over there, I'm on my way, yep, got it, I'll see you. And in the end, you get frustrated. Maybe you get it eventually, well, you will. But you then are very annoyed, very angry because it's ruined a wonderful evening. You may even ask for a discount or ask to see the manager, to the point where you're so upset. How has that left you? You felt one of the emotions, anger, irritation, annoyance. Maybe it's brought you to tears. Who knows? Lots of different things happen, but nobody apologized to you. Another example for me recently, I was staying on business in a 5-star hotel and they forgot to bring me breakfast. I'd ordered breakfast in my room. It didn't come up. Eventually I had to leave the hotel and go to my meeting. When I got back in the evening, I phoned the head of customer relations, guest relations, and I explained to her that this was not acceptable. They'd forgotten my breakfast and I was disappointed, but I said, look, it's no big deal. I just want to make sure that tomorrow morning I get my breakfast room service again. She was very apologetic, said it shouldn't have happened, and she'll make amends. The following day, when I got my breakfast and I saw the little note, the bill, it had 0 on it. She had taken my breakfast off. You can imagine, as I said, 5-star hotel, so breakfast is what it is. And she'd taken it off and it was a really great gesture and I appreciated it and I thanked her for it afterwards. So whatever situation you're in, she had a role of leadership, of authority, decision-making. She apologized and dealt with it. And that is something that we need to look at as ourselves, as leaders. So I'm going to give you a few scenarios because you may say, well, how does that affect me? Well, firstly, like I say, it's about saying sorry, but in what circumstances do you say sorry? It could affect your colleagues, could be your direct reports, so those who are in your vertical line or those who report into you, could be managers, could be leaders, could even be the other way to your boss. Maybe you've done something you shouldn't have, poor judgment, wrong decision, an error, a cost. So you inform your boss as well. It could be your team or your staff, but it could also be outward looking. So outward looking means suppliers, contractors, clients, service providers, and shareholders. And I'm going to stop at the shareholders for a minute because there is a rule or school of thought, should I say, where they say if you're in a public company, you shouldn't apologize. You shouldn't say sorry because there are governance rules around how public companies communicate and so on. Now, I don't work in a public company. I have done in the past, and that's okay. But what I'm saying to you is, for me, it links into something which I spoke about in a previous video, which is on integrity. So it could be the same. It could be a politician. They say politicians shouldn't apologize. Well, I think the world is changing anyway. So whatever leadership role you're in, there is a space and a place for apologizing, for saying sorry, where you've hurt someone or hurt people. Because for me, integrity is all about being integral. It means whatever circumstance you're in, if you have made a mistake or if you've hurt somebody, you should say sorry. Now, how you do this is a personal judgment that you have to make in line with how you run your team, your department, and like I say, what corporate environment you are in. But I feel that whatever your role within the leadership sphere, you need to be able to say sorry. However, and here is a very important point, the key objective as a leader is to rarely say sorry, or to rarely have to say sorry, maybe to be more precise. Okay? Because you're in a leadership position, you have this role because you're supposed to be the best or one of the best in what you do. That is what a leader is all about. You are in that role, in that position, because you have a specific skill and ability, and therefore you should make very few mistakes. But okay, you've made a mistake. Why is it important to say sorry? Well, here are just a few examples. For me, on the one hand, it's about showing that you are human. Your team, your staff, your company need to know that you have a soul. You need to show them that you care. You need to show them, yeah, you make mistakes because you are human. You're not supposed to make many, but you do. At the same time, it allows you to gain their respect, because they respect you for your honesty, the fact that you've apologized for something, for a mistake that you've made. And if you wrap all this together, it comes back to emotional intelligence, which I've talked about in a previous video and what that's about. But let me just summarize it by saying here, the emotional intelligence or the empathy is the fact that you understand how somebody feels in that particular situation, and you want to connect with them. And by saying sorry, it allows them to know, okay, he or she made a mistake. They acknowledge it, they recognize it, they're willing to make peace with me, and I appreciate that very much. Because emotional intelligence is about how you feel as well as how they feel. It's a two-way street. So I would invite you to take all these areas into account. Firstly, minimize the number of mistakes or errors or whatever you make in order for sorry to be something that comes out of your mouth. If it does, however, create a problem or there is an issue, you need to be able to step up and say, I'm sorry, or we are sorry. Maybe it's not your fault. Just like the example I gave of that 5-star hotel and breakfast, it's somebody else's fault, but that lady took care of it. Your team, your department, your company may cause a problem with a client, a shareholder, another board member, whatever it happens to be, and you have to apologize on behalf of whoever caused it. That's owning the issue, owning the problem, and dealing with it. So I hope that some of this has resonated with you. If it has, then please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you know what other videos are becoming available. And I look forward to meeting you again very soon. Thank you.